and it is still supposed to be simple for me. Semyaza says I never uttered such a word. Neither I nor anyone else of us thinks that the task is easy for you. We also know that for you, life will be the more difficult and the dangers will be greater yet. Billy says how nice, but indeed to every prayer also belongs an amen. Is that certain? Semyaza says sure. Billy says good, I will indeed do what must be done. I am indeed used to annoyance. But why does it work out to always be these military and secret services? Already in earlier times it was them, and also today it is them again. Semyaza says and it will still continue to be them further in the future. Billy says and the humans become no smarter. Then cheers. Semyaza says unfortunately, it will still remain like this for a long time, as it will also be that the religions still long exercise power over the earth humans and exploit them and lead them astray, this next to the military and secret services. Billy says that is well known, and yet this also cannot be changed. Semyaza says sure, but still there exists no possibility to change this situation greatly. The possibility exists only in the form in which you conduct it. Small groups are required, which will spread in snowball fashion. 3. But now, my friend, enough of that because I still have to tell you about all kinds of important data and facts concerning the future, which I cannot explain in a few minutes. So I will likewise tell of the next upcoming events, which will become well known worldwide when they fulfill themselves. The first concerns the ballot for the new American president. It will be expressed worldwide that the lesser of two evils must be chosen. Therefore, the current President Carter will not hold his position any longer. For this reason, the next great man of the United States of America will be President Ronald Reagan. A man who will cause everything to align through his upcoming actions, allowing the old prophecies to be fulfilled, from which it will slowly yet surely result that everything will begin to expand on the earth for the preparation of a worldwide war. The new president will be aggressive and eager to solve all problems through the use of military force and new armaments. This in contrast to his predecessor, who is likewise unsuitable, however, in his present position, as the new president will also be, who already exhibits some radical and extreme characteristics. Contrary to the erroneous opinion of the US and the worldwide population, Reagan does not represent the lesser evil but rather the larger, as the earth people will find out. In general, it can be said that very great errors are committed in regards to earthly presidential elections in the fact that after 2, 3, or 4 years, a new presidency is always sought, and then, a new president is determined for a country. Each new president lives with different ambitions and emotions, but also, each new president has a different character, different plans, and different illogical understandings in reference to politics, etc. This leads to the fact that each new president or other person of power ignores and changes the preceding plans of his predecessor, whereby new errors develop again and again. The only right way would be for a truly good man to be chosen in the election, one who is free from all of those interests that are wrong and confused. This man would then be in office for as long as he is able to perform this role consciously and without confusion. Only in this way could steady and good politics develop, expand, and become effective. After the presidential election in America, the next world-changing event will be that in Italy, the next major earthquake after Allah's name will occur, to which 4,30 Earth people will fall victim. This quake will occur in the areas of the southwest, south, and southeast, as well as east of the Vesuvius volcano, causing immense damage to the buildings. The first major quake, having great destructive power and causing thousands of deaths, will result towards the end of the month of November of this year, after which then, over long periods of time, new tremblings of the earth will drive the populations into fear, as this will also be the case in Allah's name, where for the first time, the earth will no longer come completely to rest, and 50 to 80 earthquakes will roll daily through the soil. In Allah's name, the number of deaths will, indeed, be 1,000 times higher than what will happen in Italy, but a greater danger awaits this in the boot country. The severe quake around Vesuvius will only be the beginning of a great number of similar disasters in Italy, but it should also be the starting point for further coming eruptions of the volcano, which will create more destruction in the future. The threatening eruptions of the volcano, however, will indicate that another world war comes within easy reach and that its destructive work will begin and be carried out without it being able to be prevented, if the political and religious unreasonableness of the Earth humans should continue. For 2,000 years, the Earth human being was given prophecies about these threats, but he only laughed at them, and all advice that was given was simply spoken into the wind. But he must bear the consequences for more and more of his senselessness. And the events in Italy should be the signs of this coming time, for since ancient times the most monstrous crimes against earth humanity were committed by this country, namely through Catholicism, whereby the Holy See, in particular, is responsible for this. Already in the beginning time, when the papacy and the Vatican were founded and brought to life in Rome, the most negative place existing in Italy was unconsciously selected for the residence of the Pope, the city of Rome, where the Vatican resided, from which, for almost 2,000 years, murder, enslavement, exploitation, deception, and every possible crime spread across the earthly world, and even other worlds in the universe and in distant, foreign galaxies didn't remain spared from these vile, murderous, religious, and deadly deeds because innocent extraterrestrial visitors on Earth were confronted with the madness of the religious cult of the Vatican and, therefore, Catholicism, and succumbed to this delusional faith, and after their return to their home worlds, their people living there were also infected by the acquired delusional faith until religious wars broke out, and that is why entire planets and even enormous solar systems have been destroyed. The Earth human being should consider these facts at once and recognize from them how deadly the earthly religious cults truly are. And the Earth person should also think about why in ancient times Italy, the most negative place, was ever unconsciously chosen for the creation of the Vatican, and why just from there, like many times before, the mark of death is set for the world, when the Vesuvius volcano ejects its lava and thereby spreads great disaster. These are the facts, and it would be worthwhile for the people of the Earth to think about them. Just as before and just as ever, however, there will be no tales and cult-religious believers who will say that the Vesuvius volcano is not in or near Rome but rather is in the vicinity of Naples. These know-it-tales, however, do not know the conditions of the interior of the Earth, much like even the responsible scientists. Thus, they do not know that the main activity of the volcano does not lie directly under it but lies directly and very deeply beneath the city of Rome. So in addition, those areas which will be shaken at the end of November will be caused partly by the magma eruption, water, and gas chambers, and be caused partly by tectonic shifts. This is to be said of the coming quakes in Italy, which find their beginning at the end of November of this year and which will not end for a long time. But I must now depart from identifying in chronological order the events that are coming and return to this later. Before other major earthquakes follow in Italy, still several other things that are serious or simply important and moving for Earth humanity will occur around the world. Thus, the earthquake disaster in Italy will still be on the lips of the Earth human beings when the next event occurs, which will deeply move millions of people. In New York, it will happen that in the second week of December of this year, a man who is well known by the name of John Lennon will be murdered by a firearm. His character is that he is a musician, and he was formerly a member of the Beatles group. He will be murdered by a religiously misguided one named Chapman, who, moreover, suffers from delusional ideas caused by erroneous religious teachings, as this will appear more and more in the extreme with those who've succumbed to the delusional religious cults and sects in the United States of America. Another event goes into action with the coming climate, which will already be at hand in October, and which especially concerns the northern hemisphere of the Earth. I already explained to you earlier that in the specific case, the whole Earth will slowly become a flood-prone area. However,